Hey everybody, it's Wrenchy Mike. It is Tuesday morning. It's a little early. What do we got, about 11:20 now. I normally do my Timeout Tuesday videos at 12:30, but I'm at the dojo a little early. I had some things I had to take care of. I actually wanted to do this Timeout Tuesday in the dojo because I wanted to demonstrate something really quickly with you. Don't get too excited. It's not going to be a lot of pyrotechnics with this weapon, but I did want to show you something. This past week, I had gotten a text from one of our moms, and what she had said was that her son had just had his first lacrosse practice. He did unusually well, given that he hadn't played lacrosse before, and when they were leaving, the mom asked her son, why do you think you did so well at that today? And he turned to her and came up with this answer on his own, which is, I've been swinging weapons at the dojo for so long. I've been swinging all kinds of different weapons, and that's why I got good using a lacrosse stick. So the mom sent me a text letting me know that. In fact, I'll copy and paste that text below this afterward. But because she gave me permission to share this story, and excuse me, and so it was. What was funny about it was that this was not the first time that I've heard this. In fact, I've actually heard this many times, that students find trying new sports to be somewhat easy to adjust to because of things that they've been doing at the dojo. And in fact, the very first time that I ever realized this was going back, I would say probably, close to about 15 years now. We had taken our boys on a ski trip for the first time. And so it was the first time they were going to be on skis, and I figured, we'll sign them up for some beginner lessons so that they learn all the basics. They'll learn how to stop, not hit a tree, all that kind of stuff. And so we signed them up for some lessons, but the lessons weren't going to be for about another hour or two, and we didn't want to waste the time on the mountain. So I figured, let me get them up onto the bunny slope. They'll go up and down, they'll learn how to fall. And so we brought them up on the bunny slope, and I skied down a few hundred yards, and I let them, start heading down the mountain. And they really had no lessons at this point. They didn't know how to start, they didn't know how to stop, and they definitely did not know how fast they were going to start moving, even on the bunny slope. So they started moving pretty quickly, and they were heading, in my general direction, and they definitely did not know how to stop, and it was pretty evident from the look on their face that they didn't know how to stop either. And so because they had not learned anything yet, I figured they're either about to fall, or maybe if I can just yell out something to them that'll actually work. So at the time, they've already been taking martial arts for a couple of years in each case, and I just yelled out, Nahachi stance, as loud as I possibly could. And for those of you that don't know what a Nahachi stance is, basically, it's almost like you're riding a horse. Your knees are bent, your toes are a little bit pigeon-toed. But if you take a look at what that would do if you were wearing skis, take a look at the direction that the skis would be aiming, and you can see that they'd be aiming towards each other. And basically that puts you into a snowplow position. So it was really magical. Both of my kids just responded to Nahachi stance because they've heard that, God only knows how many thousands of times in class, and they both went shh and came to a stop. And as soon as I saw that they were able to stop, we basically canceled their beginner lesson, and they became very good skiers very quickly because they learned how to apply stance, how to lock their legs in place, how to move their hips, and a bunch of other things in karate. And we were able to very easily apply that on the ski slopes. And it was pretty remarkable how quickly they adapted to it. A few years later, a student that I was working with, preparing them for their black belt test, I was working with them on weapons right around when they took their first lacrosse. They joined lacrosse for the first time. And the mom came in and told me that it was really remarkable. He picked up a stick, and it was just a natural for him to be able to play lacrosse, and she couldn't figure out why. And I had a very similar conversation that I had with the mom that I just told you that story about. Because I said, well, really? I said, so let me show you something. I picked up a weapon. In this case, I'm using a Joe because it's kind of similar in length to I guess, a lacrosse stick. And I said, well, look, for several years now, he's been doing this, he's been doing this, he's been doing this, he's been doing this, and he's been doing moves that look like this. And when we strike a target, wherever the target is where the end of the weapon needs to be. So if I'm trying to strike at about head height, that's about what I would do. With a lacrosse stick, if you're trying to aim something in that general direction, you stop your stick right there, and that's where the ball is going to head. It's not just lacrosse. Lacrosse happens to be one that is just dovetails together so well, perhaps because of some of the origins of the game of lacrosse being sort of a battle training type of sport, a Native American battle sport from what I understand. But if you take a look at how we teach weaponry, which generally is that we're swinging with the pinky side of the arm leading the way, all of a sudden you take a look at almost every other sport, for example, a baseball swing with the pinky side of the arm leading the way. The strikes that we do in karate generally follow that same type of a path. When we do, as I mentioned, lacrosse, certainly, and even students that take up tennis find the backhand swings, the ones that are more difficult, to be somewhat easier because for a long time they've been swinging a weapon with the pinky side of their arm leading the way, and then we certainly also teach them how to strike with the forehand. So it's very interesting how the two things dovetail together. I think it's like sort of one of those like secret things that, people don't realize that that's one of the other benefits of martial arts. We talk about all the obvious ones like self-defense and confidence building, respect and courtesy and all those other things. But one of the things that it really does, in addition to learning how to swing a weapon, because we focus so much on our foot positions and our stances, when they're being coached by other sporting coaches to get into a certain position and lock that position or angle their feet in a certain position or shift their body weight or their center of gravity, these things become second nature to them, and the students just wind up really becoming rock stars at any sport they do. Karate is very complementary to other athletics, and I urge you to consider that as you're thinking about signing kids up for karate, and you can share this with some of your friends, especially if they're struggling in other sports. Karate might be something that could kind of help bolster a lot of the physical element of things that they're struggling with. So, in any case, that's Timeout Tuesday for today. That's kind of like my top secret top secret tip to becoming a better athlete. Don't tell anyone. Shh. But in any case, we are almost done with our testing round. So we just finished testing about 50 or 60 students, I think, on Saturday. We got about a dozen or so that'll be testing tonight between our students that are testing in the afternoon, and then we have a brown belt testing this evening. So we had actually one of our best tests that we ever had. The performance was incredible by our students. A lot of what we worked on for the past two and a half months since our last test was, it really proved to be very valuable for a lot of our students. Their proficiency was just really remarkable. All the instructors that were watching them really felt the same way, that this was just an unusually excellent test. And that means that we're going to do a lot of the same things that we did over the last 2 months, over the next couple of months, because it really worked and it really made for stronger, better students. And that's basically the name of the game for us. So I hope everyone has an absolutely fantastic day. I hope they're having a good holiday season. It really has just rained almost every day for the last couple of weeks, so we are due for some good weather. I'd like to see it in the form of sunshine. I know a lot of you would like to see it in the form of snow this time of the year. My vote is for sunshine. I could skip the snow. So I hope everyone has a great day, and peace.